Hey, what's up? It's Fuego, and I just wanted to take a quick moment to break down this savage pre-release deck I built last night for Magic's Lord of the Rings, Tales of Middle-earth pre-release event. I just got crazy good pulls, and I hope you all can make it out to an event this weekend. It had a lot of fun games. This was a really solid set for Sealed, it felt like, at least. So, promo Delighted Halfling, great mana dork. It's a great start. Have a few 1-drops. This thing was great. 1 mana. You can scry, keep bringing it back, scry some more, and there's some scrying synergies with other cards in the set, so feels good for 1. Death Touch Spider, kind of a staple. Never a bad thing to have. Great way to spend 1 mana, and it also works with another card I got, so boom. We got the Scry guy, so for some more scrying synergy, and really just gives me a couple 2-drops to put out. Got lucky, hit the Orcish Bowmaster. So yeah, based on my rares, I really had to go black-green. That was the best option for my kit, and you're gonna see why. But Bowmasters is absolutely fantastic. There's a reason there's a lot of buzz around this card. Here's the Scry Synergy. This did okay. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but for a 3-drop, this was pretty good, as long as you've got some other things that scry. The Ring Tempting was actually a pretty big part of the set. I wasn't sure how good it was going to be, but it decided a couple of games. So, having some Ring Tempts and Ring Bearers, pretty good. More tempting 3-drop, that's fine. Nazgul, I mean, I kind of went with a scry and a ring temp strategy, so again, worked out. This one, I didn't realize just how stinking good Mirkwood Bats is. I just thought for 4 mana, I don't know how good this is gonna be, but when you're making orc armies, you're making food, there's even human strategies where you're making human tokens. This thing carried so much weight. I mean, I originally just threw it in so I'd have a flyer. I'm like, okay, 2/3 flyer for 4 isn't great, but it's something, and maybe I'll get a few of those triggers for the losing life. There's like one game this did like 12 damage. This is a crazy good card. A lot of ways to make tokens in this set. More Ring Tempting, just to have something on the higher end here. This pushed me into black. A ton of decks were running Witch King. It seemed like this was one that got pulled a lot. Incredibly hard to deal with. I mean, you can almost always just keep a card in your hand to protect it. Yeah, this was the bomb. This definitely won games. The only 2 games I lost, I went 3-1, got 7th out of 30. The only 2 games I lost the entire night was to somebody else who was playing a similar deck that also had a Witch King and then had the orb that draws you cards. So it just became incredibly hard to deal with. Tons of card advantage for him, but they were close games. They were really good. Witch King versus Witch King. And Shalob. Yeah, that was another bomb. That pushed me into green. I mean, with the Witch King and this. And honestly, for 6 mana, I got this out a bunch. I kept, the games weren't super quick, and so I was almost always able to cast this, and getting an 8/8 Death Touch Ward for 6 mana that makes food, that's crazy. This was a crazy good card. So yeah, between this and the Witch King, those were the bombs. Those did it in. Just a little bit of interaction, some -2, -2. Wasn't a big player, but got to have some protection. Love being able to give hexproof, save the bombs, and then added bonus Ring Tempt. Actually, it feels like they just added the Ring Tempts you to a bunch of cards that we already know. Loot Ring Tempts you, hexproof Ring Tempts you, +2/+2 Ring Tempts you. So it's just kind of an added bonus. There was no downside. The ring temp is good. Protection, good. Lifelink is so stinking good. 2 different games I was able to just surprise somebody, throw it on my spider, and gain 8 life out of nowhere, which tipped the scales in my favor. Or Indestructible, being able to save something, and then just as an added bonus, go ahead and make a creature. Amass some orcs. Really good card for limited. Scry 3, grab a creature. I think it's only whiffed once. I mean, for 1 mana, especially with Scry synergy, solid. It worked. Draw a card. Amass an orc. Yeah, definitely. Just solid. Return a permanent from your graveyard to hand. Create a food. Well, creating food is good. Gains you some life. Works with the bats. I didn't really use this much, but anything that amassed orcs or created food just works so well with the bats. Destroy a creature. Ring tempts you. There you go. Enough said. This was pretty good. For 2 mana, you get quite a bit. Again, you got to do some scry, beef up a creature, and then fight, and potentially draw 2 cards if you fight correctly. This is good. It's a great way to spend 2 mana. This actually did pretty good. I wasn't sure. I just was filling out some slots. I thought, well, each opponent loses 3 life, create a treasure token. That feels really good. Create 3 1/1 spirit tokens. Also good. Just gives me board state, interacts with the bats. Everybody creates food. This was good. This gave me a lot of value. I love the flash equipment that it auto attaches. This was a good surprise battle trick. Really solid. Great for limited. You can surprise people. They think they've got a clean shot through. You untap something big, kill their stuff, and now that thing's bigger. So, solid. And Horn of the Mark, fantastic card. Especially if you're going even somewhat wide, or you have creatures like the Witch King, which I'm going to attack with pretty much every time. This thing did a ton of heavy lifting, just constantly giving me more creatures to play. It's only 2 mana, so you get it out early, you build your board, and you just always are putting out a creature pretty much every turn. So, Horn of the Mark, very, very solid. I was lucky to get, 4 playable rares in this. And then, basics. I didn't really need any mana fixing since I was only doing 2 colors. There's a lot of cards that incentivize you to do 3, but I was able to stick to 2, and it worked out really well. Super fun event. Really looking forward to drafting it. This is a home run set. I'm having a lot of fun with it. All right, well, that was the breakdown. Totally smashed with this. It was a good time. Get out there, play some. Thanks for joining me, and be awesome.